Hi, welcome to this part of tutorial, and in this part we will learn about commenting, why commenting is important and why we should comment our code. I have written a temporary project. I have created a temporary project in Eclipse, and first of all there are two types of comments. This is a multi-line comment. As I have said in my part 3, that is structure of a C program, a comment begins with /* and ends with /*, multi-line comment. This is also a multi-line comment, while a single line comment would look like this. To let you know, from my professional experience, commenting is one of the most overlooked features or practice in programming world. People really do not like to comment their code. It makes life difficult, why? I'll tell you. Suppose you are working in a project which will last, let's say, somewhere between 6 months to 2 years, and then the software is ready, software is being sold, and it is in use for, say, next 10 years, next coming 10 years. But say in the 5th year someone finds a problem with software and he complains with the company who is selling the software that I am experiencing this problem in the software. So the bug is assigned to one of the developers, but that developer is not you. He is a new developer on the project. And now he tries to understand the code, but because of complexity of the code and since there are no comments, he finds it terribly difficult to find the bug easily. So to comment, there is one important concept in commenting, and that is, in the code you should always comment about what, not about how. Say, for example, there is a variable, then you should tell what the variable is about. Suppose you write a function, then you should tell what this function will do, not how it will do. How is there in the code. So let us edit this piece of code to make it simple, and let's take an example here about commenting. Commenting is important, but with commenting the proper choice of variable names are also important. For example, consider a variable called int I is equal to 0. It is a very common variable which you will find in lots of code. Now, if you look at this line, int I is equal to 0, what do you make out of it? I do not make anything out of it. But most of the time it will be used as a loop counter. Now certainly you don't want to write loop counter all the time, so you name it I, easy to understand. But if you put a single line comment here, loop counter, then it becomes so easy to understand. Okay, it's a loop counter. Now consider that you have a variable and you have written port number. It is a common practice to give descriptive name to global variables. Consider you have a project which has got thousands of files in which this global variable is used, and that project has got a mail server and a web server and a FTP server and a VPN, and lots of things are involved in that project. Now the person who sees this port number has no idea which port number it is talking about. So you can say custom HTTP server. So this simple comment will tell the person who is reading this line that okay, it is about custom web server, custom HTTP server. Similarly, let's say you have a function word sort, which takes let's say character array, okay, character array, and sorts it. So name choice is good, what it does, but how to document it? So first you say it sorts a character array alphabetically. It's becoming difficult to see this. Let me maximize this. So it sorts a character array alphabetically. Then you should specify what is its input. Should say it takes the array, rather more specifically character array, takes the character array to be sorted. And then you say output. There is no return value, but still there is one output, and that is the sorted array. So now we have commented this function, its behavior, what input it takes, what output it takes. For those who still do not understand the importance of commenting, I have one line to say. There is a book called The Tao of Programming. It has one of the topics in it says, even if the code is of one line, it has to be maintained. Always remember that the lifetime of development is much shorter than the lifetime of the maintenance. And to be a software maintainable, readable, you must comment it, and comment it properly. Your people will love you for writing commented code. You take projects, you look at projects which are open source and see how they comment the code. There are tools specifically written to put comments. There are tools like DokuWiki. There are tools like Sphinx to automatically generate documentation. There are tools like Cvideo and Oxygen. All these tools require you to mark up comments in a certain way. Oxygen is one of the most powerful tools for C and C++ documentation, and it generates documentation from your source code comments. If you write your comments properly, Oxygen will generate the documentation for you in HTML or PDF format. Consider, in your project it is required that you generate Oxygen documentation, but you do not know how to write comments at all. How to write, when I say how to write comments, that does not mean that you know how to put something between /* and //. By knowing how to comment means how to comment properly. You should not put less comments. More comments are not good, but it does not harm to have more comments. But less comments are never acceptable. With the comments, it should be easily possible to understand the program without reading the code. Also, one more thing. Here, you see, the description which is generated by template in Eclipse, it says, hello world in C, NC style. So here you can describe the purpose of the program or purpose of the file. Similarly, if you have sections like a for loop and you are doing specific things in that loop, then you should specify before that loop. If you have control statements like if, and you are doing something complex, you should describe that. However, if for and if are trivial and easy to understand, you need not highlight that. It's okay to leave simple constructs uncommented. should also try to comment return code. For example, you say return -5. That should be specified. When, under what condition you are returning, what does it mean? So such commenting will help you learn the best practices. Commenting is essential and never forget that. I will say this 1,000 times and still it will have the same importance. So I cannot emphasize enough that how important is commenting. I request you that when you write program, take time to put comments and make it a habit. It is a difficult habit to cultivate, but once you cultivate this habit, it will make you a better programmer, and that is for sure. That's it for now from my side. See you in the next part of the tutorial. Happy coding. Enjoy.